Alright, so what we're going to end up doing today is we're going to take care of our C drive problem. It's kind of red. And how we're going to do that is we're going to install a NAS. So the NAS I got is a Ubiquiti Pro. And so I got these hard drives, right? And all these different hard drives. And they're all 20 terabyte hard drives. And I'm going to go ahead and install them, and that way I can move some of my files around and just kind of have more space on my drives. Okay, so for the people who know, I do have a Ubiquiti Tooless Rack that I kind of rearranged my server and I kind of put it on. I decided I wasn't going to use it yet. Well, now that I got this equipment, I'm going to go ahead and go use it. So I'm going to go down and mess with the rack, install the NAS, and kind of show you what that looks like. Okay, so here's my current setup. I got my network gear up here, and I got my servers down here. And I'm going to put in my NAS and organize this, but I do have a Ubiquiti toolless kit that I'm going to install the Ubiquiti equipment in just because it looks nicer. And in the current setup, the Ubiquiti equipment just kind of hangs there. I don't have a Ral or anything like that. But the toolless kit up here has these rails I can slide my equipment right in so I can keep it looking nice. Alright, I got my patch panel in. I don't have any keystones right now. I'll probably just take some off the old rack and kind of throw them in here just to get this going. Alright, this is looking nicer. I got my Dream Machine in, and like I said, I like these racks because it just slides in there and it doesn't droop. Now, I know I could buy the mounts for the other rack, but I just kind of want to keep my network gear a little bit separate now. All right, so here we go. I got my switch in, started plugging some stuff up. It's beginning to look nice. Okay, so I got my NAS in. All I gotta do is just pop it open, pull these out, and then just put my hard drives in here, and then just slide these back in. Yeah, and these caddies are pretty nice. You just kind of snap them in there and you have one screw on the side. So basically what you'll end up doing is just kind of putting it in there and then it'll snap in place. And then over here, there's like one screw right there that you can just to kind of make it really extra secure. But that hard drive's in there. All right, so these 420 terabytes are ready to go in. All right, and really simple. They just slide in and close them up, and that's pretty much it. And there it is, all hooked up, looking really nice, all lighted up. And then there's my other rack, still looking nice and clean. Added my power strip back on, but there's the toolless one again, and I really like that. So I think it looks really nice. What do you guys think? Okay, so what we're going to end up doing is we're going to go to our Dream Machine and we're going to use our username and password, and we're going to log into the system. Once we're logged in, we're going to see new console detected, and it's going to tell us we can set up our UNAS Pro 8, and we have the open with the IP address local right there. We just click on that. Then it's going to take you through the setup, and this is your UNAS Pro 8 setup. And I named mine dash storage. You can name yours whatever you want. Just know that this is where you name it at. We could restore from backup, but we don't need to do that. This is a fresh install. So we're just going to name it, and then we're going to go down here, and then there should be like a next button that we hit. Okay? So the next part is pretty straightforward. You can create a UI account, and you can put your name in there and username and password, or you can proceed without a UI account, and the choice is really yours. If you do go with a UI account, you'll enter your email and username and password, and then you'll come over here and you create the new account. If not, you'll just put in your credentials and you move forward. Then what's going to happen is going to tell you the setup is complete, and then it's going to do a console update, so you have to wait for its update. So once you hit that and it's all updated, you can go to the dashboard. And then when you hit the go to dashboard, it's going to tell you to welcome to the UniFi drive and hit start. And it's going to have this UniFi drive, and you have the setup storage. So you go ahead and hit setup storage. And then it's going to bring you to this screen here. It's going to tell you about your devices. So when you look at your devices, it tells you the different RAID configurations, how to do the multiple storage pools, and how to do storage pools with global hot spares. And you can learn more and read through those. Right now it shows that my drives are in the optimal status because you'd already read those in. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to set up a RAID10 for my use case. So I'm going to hit add drives, and that's going to create my first storage pool. So when you do that, you want to click down here where it says better performance RAID10. So I click on that just to make sure that I'm selected for the RAID10. Then I'm going to add drives from the tables, and it's going to bring up this screen up here where I can hit the plus signs. And when I hit the plus signs, it's going to allow me to add them to my storage pool. And when I do the storage pool, it's going to kind of give me a overview over here that I have the capacity and the protection. And I wouldn't only say protection, more redundancy. But down here it says better performance RAID10. That's what I'm going to go with. It's just how they're striped. It's supposed to be faster than the RAID6, but RAID6 gives you better protection. But I'm going to go with the RAID10 for my use case. And again, it says like 4 drives added, and I just hit create, and then it's going to ask me if I want to format and proceed, and I check the box, hit understand, and then I continue. And then it takes me back to this screen, and we wait a minute, and then once it says it's fully operational, it'll tell me that I'm in RAID 10, and then my protection / total drives, like 2 to 4. I kind of wish I would say like your redundancy, but whatever. This is pretty much it, kind of setting that up initially. Then over here we got this little computer square, looks like a little drive. We're going to click on that next, and when we click on that, it's going to bring us to the screen here. It shows me my default drive from setup, so it automatically sets up your storage drive and your shared drive. So the first one's your personal drive, the second one's your shared. And you look at this, it kind of hurts my eyes, so I go up here and I can click on this little toggle, and then we can just turn it into dock screen mode, which is a lot easier on the eyes. Then if we go down here, we have this user account right here. Now I can tell you that you click it once, sometimes it kind of brings up this screen, and you click it again, and then it brings up the screen that looks kind of like this. And this is kind of what we're looking for. Okay? And you'll see what I mean when you click on it. So, these screens are kind of like, thrown together to kind of show you some steps. I just felt it easier to do it this way, like into a PowerPoint instead of going through the UI, just because it's easier for me to kind of mask some things out. Plus, it's, going through it the first time, setting it up, I had to figure some things out. So it was just easier for me to do it this way. So to create a new user, I hit create user right here. And then what's going to happen is it's going to pop up this create new user screen, and it's going to be on the right side of your computer. And I'm going to create a new user for Didi. So I put that right there. And then I blocked out her email, and then down here I want to set up a personal drive, so I click on a personal drive. That way only she has access to her drive. And then we go over and we kind of look down a little bit, and for that personal drive we can say I want to enforce the storage limit, and then you can set what storage limit you want. So you can change that from gigabytes to terabytes, and then you can put the storage right there. Okay, then we'll go ahead and hit save. Once we hit save, then we can kind of go over here and we can assign her to the shared drive. That's that default shared drive, and I can just hit the checkbox if I want to have access to it, and I just select it and hit add. And then once I hit add, I just hit save, and then it kind of brings back over here, and you see my create new user. You still see all that information. The personal drive, we ended up going with the pool of 2 terabytes. That's what I set it at. And for the shared drive, it's editor, so that's by default. You can change that to admin or view only, and then hit create once you're done. Okay, but I'm keeping mine at editor. Hit create, and then it comes up here, and it has the username, and then it's pending because it's creating, and then once it's done, it will look something like this where it says it's active. Okay, so now that we're done with this, what we're going to end up doing is I'm going to jump over to Windows and show you how to actually connect this, where you can actually connect your Windows machine to actually use the share drive. Okay, so we're back. We got everything set up on the storage drive for the NAS, and then we're back here. We still have this problem. I'm not seeing my NAS. So to see that, I just go to this PC on Windows, select Map Network Device, and then I can bring this over, and I just hit Browse, and there it is, the NAS Pro H storage, and that's what we named it. So we'll just hit the down arrow, and the personal drive is your personal drive that you set up, and the shared drive is just the name of the shared drive that we already had by default. Now you can add multiple shared drives if you want. I don't have a personal need for that, so I'm just keeping mine like this, and I just hit personal drive, hit OK, and then hit finish, and then it kind of brings it up right there. So now if I exit out and I hit refresh, there it is, my personal drive, and I got the 36 terabytes. And I click on it, it seems to go by pretty quick. I'll probably run some tests here later, but I think that this is where I'll end it.